everyone, and welcome to Story Station. I'm Mr. Jim. I'll be reading today a fun book for this time of year. Happens to be Halloween, and it's called Over in the Hollow by Rebecca Dickinson, illustrated by S. Britt. Really going to have fun with this book. It is brought to us by our friends from Chronicle Books. We want to thank them for allowing us to read it. And it features two things that we like to do, right? It has counting in it and it has rhyming. So we get to practice both of those today with this book, Over in the Hollow. First, let's make sure we're all ready, that we have our reading eyes on, all right? Put those on and make those C's cup behind those ears so I know you're listening. And I may ask you a question or two. So click that voice box on so I can hear you, okay? Now we're going to sing our little song about books to get us ready. And it starts with this. The title's on the front. The title's on the front. Hi-ho, a biblio. The title's on the front. And the author writes the words. The author writes the words. Hi-ho, a biblio. The author writes the words. The illustrator draws. The illustrator draws. Hi-ho, a biblio. The illustrator draws. The spine binds the book. The spine binds the book. Hi-ho, a biblio. The spine binds the book. And now it's time to read. And now it's time to read. Hi-ho, a biblio. Now it's time to read. So let's make sure that we got all that in today. We're going to be reading Over in the Hollow by Rebecca Dickinson, illustrated by S. Britt. We love this book because it features rhyming and counting. So let's get started, shall we? And let's begin with this beautiful title page, Over in the Hollow. And over in the hollow, where the cobwebs are spun, live a giant mother spider and her little spidey one. There's our first rhyme. Spin, hums the mother. I spin, hums the one. So they spin silver lace where the cobwebs are spun. Over in the hollow, wrapped up in old sheets and glue, live an old moldy mummy and his little mummies too. Lurch, moans the mummy. We lurch, moan the two, and they lurch into the mist wrapped in old sheets and glue. See our mummy and then our two mummies. So now we have one and we have two, and our next number is 3. Over in the hollow, in a twisted, tangled tree, live a spooky mama owl and her little owlets 3. Hoo, hoots the mama. Wee hoo, hoot the 3. So they hoo and they hoot in their twisted, tangled tree. See that twisted, tangled tree that they live in? In the hollow. Well, over in the hollow, in a coffin on the floor, live a pale grandpa vampire and his little vampies 4. Bite, groans the grandpa. We bite, groaned the floor 4. So they nibble and they bite in their coffin on the floor. Here we have these vampires. And they have his teeth in a cup. Well, over in the hollow, where the bats dip and dive, live a furry grandma bat and her little baddies 5. We're up to 5 now. We'll have to see how many we count to. Flap, squeaks the grandma. We flap, squeak the five. So they flap and they flutter where the bats dip and dive. Have you seen bats in your neighborhood at night? Oh, you can watch for them right as the sun goes down. Well, over in the hollow, on their magic broomsticks, fly a good auntie witch and her little witchies 6. Zoom, cries the auntie. We zoom, cried the 6. So they zoom through the night on their magic broomsticks. See how them flying in the air? So we have witches, and we have mummies, and we have all kinds of creatures. What's left? Well, here's one. Over in the hollow, a swingin' and a steppin' live a daddy Frankenstein and his little Frankies 7. Stomp, shouts the daddy. We stomp, shout the 7. So they stomp and they clomp, a swingin' and a steppin'. So here we've got some Frankenstein monsters and all his, well, maybe they're his kids, 7 of them, stomping and dancing and having a good time. Over in the hollow, through the creaky graveyard gate, prowl a hairy Uncle Werewolf and his little wolfies 8. Howl, growls the uncle. We howl, growl the 8. So they howl and they prowl through the creaky graveyard gate. Do you know how to howl like a werewolf? Let's try, shall we? Hoo! That's how they do it. Well, over in the hollow, 'neath the blue moonshine, sit a Papa Jack-o'-lantern and his little pumpkins 9. Glow, whispers the papa. We glow, whisper the 9. So they glimmer and they glow 'neath the blue moonshine. Have you noticed that when a full moon is out and you get moonshine? Over in the hollow, in a mossy green glen, live a 2-headed monster and his little monsters 10. That's right, we're up to 10 already. Eek, shrieks the papa. We eek, shriek the 10. So they eek and they shriek in the mossy green glen. So he's the only one with 2 heads, this monster here, right? All the others seem to have just 1 head. Over in the hollow, 'neath the dark, starry heavens, shake a singing skeleton and his little bones 11. Boogie, sings the papa. We boogie, sing the 11. So they boogie and they woogie 'neath the dark, starry heavens. And what's a boogie woogie, you may ask? Well, it's a dance. And they're doing it. So they have some instruments. Here's one with the guitar. Here's one with the saxophone. Here's one with the trumpet. And we have one here with the xylophone. No, not a xylophone, an accordion. Over in the hollow, where the rats dig and delve, slink a spooky black cat and her little kitties 12. Hiss, yowls the mother. We hiss, yowl the 12. So they hiss and they hunt where the rats dig and delve. And we have all these kitties. We do have a rat there. Cats like to catch rats. Over in the hollow, through the eerie moonlit scene, glide a phantom mama ghost and her little ghost 13. Boo! Wails the mother. We boo! Wail the 13. And they float over the hollow through the velvet night, unseen. And that is our book. We've counted all the way from 1, which started with the spider, to 13 with the ghosts. And here they are, over the hollow, going through the town, all the ghosts. And that's our book, Over in the Hollow, for today on Story Station. I want to thank you all for joining me today, our friends at Chronicle Books, for allowing us to read Over in the Hollow. And we look forward to seeing you next time on Story Station.